LSU has a top 5 class, but they have a chance to add more this weekend. We're bringing on LSU recruiting insider Shea Dixon. He's going to talk more about wide receiver Derek Meadows and that whole situation, why the delay of his commitment, and does it help or hurt LSU's chances? We're going to find out. But first, LSU fans, do me a favor. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruit channel. We are the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube, and we need LSU fans to jump on board. All right. Let's bring on Shea Dixon from the Bengal Tiger. And Shea, Derek Meadows, the 6'6", 205-pound wide receiver from Las Vegas, Nevada, was all set to decide on Saturday until he wasn't. And despite what the RPM shows now, I mean, the thought was heading into last weekend, LSU was the favorite, but then he delayed. So first of all, what happened?
I think it was one of those things where he was trending to LSU a bit more than Notre Dame realized. And Notre Dame sort of catches wind that, hey, look, this may not be the lock we thought. They doubled down on Meadows. And I think he just said, hey, look, let's take, or at least his camp, let's take an extra week. Let's hear out all sides. Let's make sure this is the right decision and go from there. And look, I told everyone on the Bengal Tiger and on 3, let's see how next week goes with the rescheduled commitment date, because there would be ebbs and flows. We've gone through them. They could continue to come, Josh, but I'll say right now, there's some people that think Notre Dame did enough to jump LSU. I think that could be the case. I just am not sure that lasted. I think that there was a reason a week ago, in my opinion, that Meadows was likely set to pick LSU. I think even as the dust settles from this week, we could find ourselves right back in this spot. So I'm guessing that on 3 RPM could change by the weekend with these ebbs and flows into LSU's favor.
So when you say Notre Dame did enough to potentially become the favorite heading into the weekend, what do you mean? Do you mean they had a great phone call with them? Is this a move with NIL? I mean, what does it take right now in these days of college football to move somebody off of their commitment like that and completely change the momentum of their recruitment?
It's case-by-case basis. Look, a guy like Meadows had been to Notre Dame so many times. He'd gotten so close to that staff that they thought that that was kind of going to be their guy that they would be able to reel in as the prize kind of blue chip receiver in their class. And when LSU was able to come in late with a late visit and really push kind of into maybe, in my opinion, the lead spot, I think Notre Dame had to counter that one with kind of affirming how big of a priority he is, those relationships. But yes, NIL is a thing. Notre Dame is not, and it's been publicly reported, they're not chasing a lot of kids with NIL money. They're not the Miamis. They're not the Oregons of A&Ms, whomever it might be over the course of the NIL era. They've been on the opposite end of that spectrum. I'm told with Meadows, that's changed a bit. Now, will Meadows be deciding based off NIL? I don't think so, but I will say that I think Notre Dame has put all of their chips on the table, whether it be relationships, NIL, any sort of kind of pitch you can make. They've done it over the past week, knowing the charge that LSU made sort of surging up in the past month.
So let's switch to the defensive side of the ball. There's 2 big commitments going down from the defensive back position. We'll start with DJ Pickett. Now, he's going to commit either today or tomorrow, depends when you're watching this, but on July 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the On3 Recruits channel, DJ Pickett is going to make his announcement. And Shea, for much of this thing, it seemed like probably LSU may be ahead for at least several months of this recruitment. But as we get down to decision day, it kind of feels more like a Miami-Oregon battle. What's your read as we're about 24 hours out?
Hey, look, no shocker here for a kid as elite as DJ Pickett is, number 1 corner in the country. Remember, he was the number 1 safety at one point.
Yeah.
Moved him to corner, still the number 1 player, top 5 overall prospect in the country. And yes, you're right. Look, the second Corey Raymond got hired, he had visited that month in January before the dead period. And then he told me 5 times before his official visit, visited LSU. And we saw Patrick Peterson on his official visit. DJ Pickett has talked about the Peterson family being involved with his kind of guiding them through the process as another South Florida family that had a 5-star son be a number 1 corner and go on to play college ball. And even Steve Wiltfong, look, everyone here at On3 had said LSU is the team to beat. We always thought it would be Miami that could come in late. Instead, it's Oregon. They've been red hot. Wiltfong, a lot of others have said that they would go into decision day, at least with where things stand now, leaning towards the Ducks. I'm not going to disagree. I'll just say I don't think it's completely over just yet. And I don't mean that by LSU having to make any last second moves or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. I just think LSU's done so much, even on the NIL side, going up against an Oregon and Miami, where LSU typically isn't in that conversation. They've been there every step of the way. So from need to development to everyone they've gotten involved in the process. I mean, look, it has been talking to DJ's family way beyond Corey Raymond. It's all hands on deck. Brian Kelly, Frank Wilson, that whole staff, Blake Baker, everybody is recruiting DJ Pickett. If he goes to Oregon, Josh, would it surprise me? No, because that's what a lot of people are saying right now. He kind of pushed up a commitment date right as Oregon was getting hot. But I'll also say this, the past month has brought some surprises. I'm not promising one with DJ Pickett.
Yeah, there has
but
been.
think about it, Josh. Think about it. Dorian Brew,
Yeah.
Tavion Wallace, CJ Wiley. There are a lot of guys who the RPM, the picks, kind of the feel, favored another team, and come the time they announced, everybody was shocked by the decision. We'll see if DJ fits into that group, because you're right. It was all LSU, and then suddenly it became Oregon, Miami, talked up the most the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, it does seem like that. All right, and then on Saturday, we got Jabori Antoine. He's a one-time LSU commitment. He's going to be making his second commitment. He decommitted about 3 or 4 weeks ago from the Tigers. He's going to be doing it right here on the On3 Recruits channel as well. Jabori Antoine has said it's down to 3. It's LSU, Miami, and FSU. Probably doesn't seem like he's going to return to LSU on this commitment, but what's your read on it? Who do you think he's going to pick on Saturday?
I think you've got it right there, and to add your kind of the verbiage and terminology there, Josh, I don't think that, and let's just say any prospect, decommits from a school 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then announces another commitment date with the top schools and picks that same school again. It would just be a little surprising to see. You would think if he were picking LSU, he would have dragged it out a bit further. I'll lean Miami, but I will say, from talking to people at Westgate, from talking to people around Miami and LSU in this recruitment, even Florida State, there's a sense that this goes to signing day. He's an in-state guy, a major priority. I think he's one we watch. Signing day may be a different story than what happens this weekend. If he goes to Miami this weekend, nobody's surprised. If he sticks with Miami, I think there will be some people around the LSU camp that are surprised by that, given what they know they will do over the next coming months to continue to make him a priority.
All right, so that being said, let's wrap it up. How will LSU fill their needs at DB if, say, DJ Pickett slips away and Jabori Antoine ends up at Miami or FSU?
Well, there's two things here. One, they have to get these guys, whether that's now or later. And DJ Pickett has been priority number one from the start. And Antoine's the best in-state kid, right? He's already been committed. Yeah. So you really want to see a way to get both these guys in the class. So you keep recruiting them no matter what. I'll say the same thing with Cade Phillips. Cade Phillips, committed to Texas, has still been in contact with LSU staff. He's someone they have loved at corner from the start. There also comes a point where we could see some new offers go out. We could see them try to flip some guys, but they have been focused because, Josh, corner is such a neat position for LSU right now, where it has gone from the portal guys the past 2 years that they've relied on to this year. They may be starting a true freshman in PJ Woodland coming out of Oak Grove in the Hattiesburg area, South Mississippi. So they need impact players. I think that's why we see this one. No matter where these kids are deciding now, it won't be over. They will recruit Cade Phillips, Antoine, Pickett, all the way to signing day. But there's also going to have to come a point, I think, where we may see some new offers go out to at least ensure that they've got some guys in the class. And I'll close with this. They did just that with Aiden Anding, who's considered one of the better corners in Louisiana. He was set to pick Texas. LSU offered him. He canceled that date. He'll be at the Bayou Splash. I think he ends up in LSU's class. So the corner situation has been a bit wonky in terms of knowing exactly how it will be when the dust settles. But I think if they could come away with a class like Anding, like Antoine, and then land a guy like Pickett or a Phillips, that would be a home run for them, considered where things stand right now in terms of not anyone being on board.
Well, currently a top 5 class, just a few little pieces to add to this finish. LSU fans, talk to us, comment section below. What do you think of the class, and who do you think the LSU Tigers need to add before it's all over? Let me know. Comment section below.